So we're doing the article, What It's Really Like to Come Out at Work, for this week. And the first question is, why is it important to consider how the lbgtq community experiences workplace discrimination? I think that, especially in this political climate, that thinking of how that community experiences discrimination is important because they are still fighting for equal rights. They have a hard time acting and being themselves for fear of retribution or retaliation, and it's not fair to be in fear of your rights, well-being, emotionally or physically, just for displaying who you are. At work, I don't feel it necessary to say that I'm a heterosexual, so I don't feel and I don't feel like I'm going to be treated any differently if I talk that way, or if I, admit to, liking somebody of the opposite sex. So I don't feel that it should be a big deal the other way around. It shouldn't be an issue if somebody is gay. It shouldn't even be a topic of conversation really at work. Like, I don't understand why it doesn't seem fair for them to have to feel that they need to discuss that personal side of themselves and then fear what somebody else will be thinking, or even get your position eliminated because of something you can't change. And I feel that it's important to understand that their experiences for empathy reasons. I feel it's important working towards equality for all, because where does it end? If you can take away the rights of one group, who's to say you won't try and attack other groups in terms of gender, race, class, or whatever other category that creates differences in people? There's that dominant and submissive group, and the one that has all the power, they get a say in how the submissive group or the weaker group is treated, and that's not what equality is about, and that's not what we fought for. The second question is, why might employers be disinclined to hire a person who is LGBTQ? I think it's a liability issue, and maybe even like a prejudice or fear of the unknown, or fear of someone different. Having to create and maintain a safe environment or work environment for a group that has yet to truly find its equality footing in the world. With all the turmoil and issues surrounding this community, I feel that maybe people are scared to hire a person that may bring in that potential trouble or I don't know the word I'm looking for. It's come off me, but like a spotlight on their work environment. I think that they're just afraid of that trouble, the questions that come with it, and maybe even the baggage that comes with them. It's not even just about the person who is gay, bi, transgendered, queer, but the other workers and their response to them hiring somebody within that community, and what kind of issues and hostile working environment that could create, and the potential like lawsuits and the fear of just trouble, like anything that rocks the boat, people tend to shy away from. And I feel that that's what sometimes in an environment where it's anti gay or transgender, bisexual, any of those things, that you could potentially put people in a position to show their true colors and truly create a difficult working situation, and therefore you have a lawsuit on your hands, or even just like, what is that saying, the blood of somebody else is on your hands, so anything that goes wrong with them, that like their well-being is in your hands, or it's on your conscience. Sorry, my daughter was about to come in and talk. So that would be there. Do you think that being in the LGBTQ offers benefits in the workplace in terms of starting a family? I don't know how to answer this one. I'm sure that there are some, but not many, that view this group as full of, or like equal to male-female unions. So I'm not really sure the rules in regards to leaves of absences for kids or taking care of spouses. I'm not sure if they're allowed benefits, medical or life insurance policies, if they even recognize same-sex couples in the same light that they do men and women. I would like to think that it's happening, and even some companies are already there, but I'm really not sure what that, as in terms of like the different states, like which states recognizes it and which doesn't. And I don't know, sometimes in the news you hear, conflicting stories, or stories of, things being revoked. And then like companies, if they even look at that sort of thing, like if you leave somebody money in terms of like your 401k, do they really, if you list them as a friend, would it really make, would they look into that? So I'm not really sure. And as far as like kids are concerned, I don't even know how that would go about, because even in terms of just a regular parents, they run into issues with like maternity and paternity leave. So I'm not sure how it would work for same-sex couples. And the last question is, do you think it should remain legal to fire someone for being in the LGBTQ in the United States? Why or why not? I don't think anyone should be fired for any other reason than not doing their job. If they are not able to perform the tasks they were hired for, then they should be let go of. I don't think that sexual identity, race, gender, age, or any other aspect of a person should be the reason why a job lets them go. It's unbelievable to think that someone would be able to be fired just for being different from the norm. They could be the best at their job or in their field, but because they like the same sex or they identify with a gender other than the one they were born with, then all of a sudden they're deemed useless or incompetent in their career role or what they were hired for. That just doesn't make any sense, that it could be a solid, legitimate reason for letting somebody go. And I feel that it should be illegal to fire anyone for that reason alone. I feel really strongly about that. It's the same when it goes for anything else. I don't think it's fair that jobs can look for specific groups of people regardless of their qualifications. I feel like when you're hiring for a job, or when somebody is, I would like the person to be the best person for that job. Like in terms of like a surgeon or a fireman or a police officer, I feel like these are roles that require somebody with a specific set of qualifications, and it doesn't matter who they love, who they are identified with, what race they are. If they're qualified within that job, then, and they do it well, then they should be allowed to keep it regardless of what they identify with or who they love. I don't feel that should be a legitimate reason for being let go or fired. Thank you very much, and have a good evening.